All right. Excellent. Thank you. ah. I have the PIMC broadcast computer doing Facebook and YouTube, and my computer doing Zoom. And it looks like it's working. Let's not question it. Well, what is it? It's Monday morning, August the 9th, 2021. I'm Robert Beatty, or so I take myself to be. And this is a broadcast of the Portland Insight Meditation Community. And it's a relief to have the sound working. I'm going to get some help in the next day or two, I hope. The help that will do it. All right. A poem. Hang on. A poem from David Wagoner. Stand still. The trees ahead and the bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger. You must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen. It answers. I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again, saying, here. No two trees are the same to raven. No two branches are the same to wren. If what a tree or bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. Taking a liberty with the poem. Sit still. The trees ahead and the bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger. You must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen. It answers. I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again, saying, here. No two trees are the same to raven. No two branches are the same to wren. If what a tree or bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Sit still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. Oh, I must do this. I forgot. I don't know. So, dear friends, let us be reminded of the refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I take refuge in being here now. In this moment. In being awake. Refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in things as they actually are, in their utter impermanence, in their lack of a self, in their exquisite presence. And I do this in the company of my friends, Sangha. So let us come home and sit together. Sit in the midst of our own forests, our own thoughts, our own emotions. Let us come home to the stability of this moment. To breathing in and breathing out. Each and every breath really does have its beginning. How present, how intimate, how closely can we embrace this emerging moment of breathing in? noticing thoughts as thoughts. And opening up the field of view to know what mood is present. And awake to the entirety of the body, perhaps. So the breath is contained in an aliveness in the feet and the legs, the buttocks, the hands and arms and back, the neck, the jaw, the face, the forehead. And it breathes in and it breathes out. If the mind is wandering a lot, there are strategies that can be helpful. Among them is noting, we could initiate a pointing at sort of practice. And in the mind, quietly say, rising, rising, falling, falling. And this pointing at uses a small amount, 5% maybe, or 10% of our awareness. Still, we're attending intimately, closely with the sensations of breathing in and out. When we discover the mind to be wandering, we can make a quiet little mental note, wandering, wandering, returning, returning, rising, rising. If the mind is tending to worry, we could make a mental note of worry, worry. Or if it's sad or angry, making the appropriate quiet little note. This is what's happening. It's not a story. It's not I am experiencing this. It's simply this is the weather. Sit still. The trees ahead and the bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here. If what a tree or a bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Sit still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. So we sit right here. In the middle of our life. However the mind is this morning, however the body is today. There isn't a perfect state. There isn't the ideal state. There's just now. Present at the beginning of the breath. Observing as it rises. As the chest and abdomen expand. present as they contract. In the context of the entirety of the living body. And let's remind ourselves of the conditions that are conducive to being awake. I aspire to love and accept myself and the experience of this moment exactly as I am. I aspire, it is my intention that whenever I discover myself to be hurting, to be suffering in any way, even in ways I define as trivial, that I hold myself in sweet, gentle, loving compassion. And so there is this breathing in. Life begins, comes to fullness, declines, vanishes. May all beings share in the merits of our practice. Beings in our close inner circles, family, friends, pets, softening into the love of these beings. Accepting that the past is actually over. May I forgive myself. May you forgive yourself for all the actions and inactions of the past which were not skillful. It's a lot to say, isn't it? May I be free to live happily in the present moment, in the recognition that I will do my best to follow the precepts and truly let the past be over. Coming truly and deeply and profoundly into the life of the body in this moment. And bringing aliveness now, awareness of aliveness into the buttocks and thighs, into the hands and arms. Into the aliveness of the face, the cheeks, the lips, the tongue. Into the eyes. And let's notice how it is we can make clockwise circles with the eyes closed. Very smooth, lubricated movements around in a sort of circle. And now counterclockwise. Aware of the intention to do this and then the doing of it. And now, the intention to open the eyes and the momentous happening of operationalizing that intention and then allowing the eyes to open. And seeing happens. Seeing. Seeing with eyes of gratitude. Well, it's easier to do this when the electronics are not falling apart. As soon as we're finished today, I'm going to call the fellow from the broadcast organization. Overcast today, at least now. I don't mind. I do have a couple of announcements. One is this. Oops, I lost it. My proper glasses are in the house. Where did it go? Grr. Oh well, it'll show up. We have a bit of a wrinkle with the picnic. 100-degree temperatures, probably. Possibly more. Who would not come if it were hot like that? I don't know what that means, Eileen. Is that yes or no? Would not come. Yeah. All right. Who would come? Anyway. 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Hard to know what to do. We will talk it over at the board meeting tomorrow. It's hard to give something up, isn't it? You create an image and it's like, oh, this is going to happen. And then, oh, damn. I guess the other two things I want to just draw your attention to. You will be receiving a letter in the mail, a fundraising letter asking for you to participate in building the place, of making the place safe. And I invite you, when that comes, to really read it and then to sit with it for a while. Think about it. Feel your way into the practice of dana. And then to give until your heart feels full. I like that phrase. And then secondly, there still is the diversity, equity, and inclusion questionnaire linked on the website. If you've not filled that in, please do so. The more information we can get from our community, the better. Am I missing anything huge, Jim?
Nothing huge. I'm going to have to leave in a minute or two, so I'll wish you all a mindful day with an open heart.
Happy teaching.
Thank you.
So, any sharing from you? Anything you'd like to bring forward?
Hi, it's Joy. Hi.
Hello, Joy.
So I just came back from Winnipeg, and where it's hotter than it is here, strangely. But we had a wondrous memorial for my mother outside with about 50 people, and it was really lovely. And All the transportation worked, like ferry, bus, SkyTrain, airplane, and the reverse with only one 15-minute delay. So it was like magic, really. Yeah. All worked. And the impermanence of life and how we surround ourselves with all the accretions of our life, I guess, and then how it all disappears suddenly. So thanks for your support. I was meditating for weeks beforehand just to get through it, and it was fantastic. Thank you.
I'm glad it was a success, Joy.
Really wonderful. All relatives getting along so well.
I guess that's a vote for brevity.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that. It's nice to be back on the West Coast. Oh, they were a lot more masked over there. They have a lot of anti-vaxxing in southern Manitoba.
Uh-huh. So there were more masks?
Oh yeah, we had to go kind of back in time and wear masks everywhere.
Huh.
Anyway, so we're really lucky here. Anyway, here on South Vancouver Island, where things are pretty open.
Yeah, much of the world is really still under total catastrophe.
Yeah.
No vaccines at all in many places.
Yeah.
Such good fortune for us.
So I have no problems or issues with anything that happened, which is nice. But it is strange when someone disappears completely.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever see the movie The Dark Crystal? Anybody see the movie The Dark Crystal? Raise your hand if you did. Yeah. That's really worth watching. It's a kids movie, but it's really powerful. And there's the strange creatures who are the like the wise elders, and then there's the evil creatures. And the movie is all about the encounter between these, and there's a little love affair and so on. But it's really interesting when one of the evil creatures dies, one of the wise elder creatures disappears. They both disappear simultaneously. Quite interesting.
Balance.
Be interesting to watch. I watched that a lot with my kids. They loved it.
Well, thank you for all your listening and support. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Joy.
Good morning, Robert.
Hi, Joe.
So this weekend, I was lucky enough to head back up to Brighton Bush, land of Ireland, and I had a profound talking to with myself at one point, as if it was talking to a friend who's mulling over a problem. It was really kind of an interesting moment. It was as if I was giving advice to myself. And the funny thing is the advice I gave myself was a simple statement. And it was, what good has wanting ever done for you? And I had to think about it. And I told myself, it's never achieved anything. It's never made anything better. You've never gotten anything because of it. It's never given you a sense of purpose or a sense of contentment. It was as if I had to explain to myself a very simple thing. And And I had a real sense of sadness when I realized I was going to be letting go of all my wants. Things that I wanted, plans I had. There was a sense of sadness of letting go of my wants. It was quite interesting. And yet, I think it was healthy for me to do that and helpful. So I thought of sitting in Sangha and thinking about desires and wants and don't wants and all that stuff. But it was funny how I had this attachment to my wants, whatever those things were.
How about breakfast? Are you allowed to want breakfast still?
I don't know. I think the idea is to take joy in it without too much wanting it, but I really don't know. I don't think it was down to that level yet. That's maybe the advanced class.
Well, or maybe it's recognizing that some of our wants are really required, and that it's not being overly attached to our wants and desires. That when we don't get them, somehow or another, not creating extra suffering. There's one of my favorite Buddhist teachings is from the third Chinese patriarch of Zen, and it starts, the traditional translation starts, "The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences." And that doesn't seem very reasonable to me. And so when I translate it myself, I use a different version, which is, "The great way is not difficult for those who are not overly attached to their preferences."
That's kind of what I sort of sank into at that moment, was that it's so much easier to accept and be curious and aware of now when I set those wants aside. I can't be right here if I'm thinking about how I want it to go or what I want to happen. And
Great.
all of those are things you have to let go of before anything can happen anyway. Or at least that you can truly appreciate it for what it is. So, yeah, it was wonderful. And I thought about sharing it with the hope that maybe someone else can have that same conversation and maybe it will help.
Thanks, Joe. How is Brightonbush?
Well, they're getting ready to take the dam out.
Really?
Yeah. And they needed power to do that, so I was able to help them with that.
They're taking the dam out so there won't be power?
No. They don't know. We don't know what the power and how it will change.
Oh.
There will still be power, but the dam is not supposed to be there. I don't think they really had thought about asking to put a dam in. I don't know when it was put in. But the Fish and Wildlife folks, I believe, are saying that, yeah, putting a dam in without permission is not a good thing, and we need to take that out. So it was a timeline thing. It had to get done and by a certain date.
Huh.
So to help them get set up to do that. They don't know. They don't know how it's going to impact the hydroelectric. There'll still be generation. There'll still be water coming down into the spillway. So I don't know.
Huh. I just saw a note from Denise, which said there had been planned removal timelines that were delayed with fire and COVID. Well. Huh. We are still waiting for our permit. Speaking of government organizations and so on, it's really quite remarkable to me that it could happen at any moment. We're just waiting for the birth, but maybe we can. Maybe we could induce birth. We could have a. We're certainly ready to go on this thing.
It's that 10 rupee note. It's the nail in the shoe.
Speaking of that, I believe we could still use one more volunteer next Sunday at 1 o'clock or anytime during the afternoon to help with the demolition that we need to do before the project begins. If that interests you and you'd like to participate, please email me, robert@robertbeatty.com. And you don't have to be a skilled carpenter or anything. There will be room for someone's just to carry the debris out. So anything else from anybody?
Hello, it's James from Florida.
Hello, James.
I just want to say that I have a wanting to carry out the debris, but I'm not attached to it.
That's funny.
That actually came up for me as a want. I really would like to participate in that. Logistically, that may be a challenge I'm not able to overcome.
We could zoom you in, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can watch. I'll supervise.
That's right. That's funny. Yeah. Thanks, James.
Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Sangha.
Hi, Janet.
Hi. Well, I think I should say that it's been very nice to be back meditating in the mornings with some breaks to go to the cabin with the grandkids where I don't have very good connectivity. The bandwidth is really small, so no meditation in the morning when I'm at the cabin. And I need to say that I'm on this macular degeneration journey since January, which means that everything is blurry.
Wow.
And if somebody has sent me a chat, I can't see it. So my apologies to anybody who wanted to have a chat with me. I can't read it or respond. I can do some voice to text, but it wouldn't be very good to be in the middle of the meditation and have voice to text. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me, learning how to navigate with blurry vision. And it means I can't see all of you too, except as an outline of blur with color. So there we go.
Wow. That's a big challenge, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I got the news a few weeks ago that I'll never drive again. My independent self was quite unhappy about that. But I'm learning to rely on other people. And I have a very loving partner who chauffeurs me around to things that I need to do, including getting eyeball injections every, 7 weeks now. And I'm learning to appreciate what I do have and doing some things. I finally got myself a keyboard in the house. I have an electronic piano now. So because of going back and forth to Mexico, I haven't had a keyboard for a long time. So I said, all right, if Ray Charles can play blind, I can play with macular degeneration. So I can't read sheet music anymore, but I can play from my musical part of the brain, and that's really been lovely.
Thank you for sharing your journey with us, Janet.
You're welcome.
I find your sharing very touching and sobering. It's like, oh, right. Right. Everything really is impermanent. Really. Like, really. I'm glad you have really good support.
Yes, I've thought about impermanence a lot in this last, 8 months now. And it happened really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea it could happen that quickly. And it is hereditary. It's on my mom's side. And I've known that I had the tendency for years and years, and have been taking my vitamins and hoping that it wouldn't strike, but it did.
Mm. Well, it already is and will be quite a teacher, I imagine.
It is. Yes, it definitely is. I'm getting to practice patience a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't just jump into the car and run off to the corner.
No escaping in Little Raz anymore.
Huh.
But people come to visit me. Now with the Delta variant, we have to be more careful.
Yeah.
In fact, my former husband, who was just so paranoid about getting COVID and wore N95 mask and did all this social distancing and hardly socialized at all, he finally went off to the coast for a birthday party with a bunch of people and got COVID, even though he was vaccinated. A mild case, I'm happy to say, but still, that was middle of July. So since then, I've been wearing my mask a lot more. I had 2 weeks of feeling somewhat freer of mask wearing, and then not now. So, and unfortunately, the Delta variant in Mexico, where I live, is just wreaking havoc. The hospitals are full in the Puerto Vallarta area, and there's a lot of deaths, and it's just so, it's so disturbing. Well, I started out positive and I wound up negative. I guess I'm just praying a lot for the people down there that they can get on top of this wave.
I didn't hear positive or negative, actually, in your sharing. I heard very truthful statements of what's happening in you and around you.
Okay. That's good. That's good. No whining was coming through, huh?
You know, if we were to have a longer conversation, I would probably ask, Have you got adequate room in your life for whining? Is there some place where you can whine effectively, and where the poor me, it's awful part gets to really be heard and felt?
Yeah, my daughter and I, we have that.
Good.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, we're both very supportive of each other's whining.
I had a dear best friend long ago for 13 years. His name was Bob Braun. And we had a practice that we would go skiing together and play racquetball. And we had a practice that we could ask the other person, could I have 5 minutes to whine? And we would always say yes, or almost always say yes. And the thing about whining time was you were allowed to say whatever you wanted and not be held to it. It's not the absolute truth, but it's just that side that wants to complain and whine. And of course, it was mostly about our marriages that we would do this. But we also socialized together with our partners, with our wives. And so we really did it that you can say what you want and I'm not going to hold you to it. It's just a chance to really air out the laundry. And it was great. And I started it recently with my daughter. And I proposed that we actually set a timer. I have a timer on my watch, as so does she. And so if you're gonna do whining time, you get 3 to 5 minutes. Whatever time you want, whatever you need. And then when the alarm goes off, it's over. But it does give that side an opportunity to really let rip. And then to of course it happens mindfully.
Mm-hmm. Yes, mindful whining. I like that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting us in, my dear.
Okay, thank you, Robert.
It's very beautiful. Appreciative of that.
I'll turn off the sound now.
Okay. Well, is there anything more, dear friends? Anyone else want to share something?
Hi, it's James.
Hello, James.
I was just thinking about what Janet said, and I was just thinking what a gift it is to be of service, or to be able to be of service to others. Just really, really sets in how much I have to give. I guess I want to say thank you. So thank you.
Well, let us chant our way out of here. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. May all beings receive all blessings. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a fine, mindful day, dear friends. Bye-bye. Thanks for being here. Whoa, that was loud. Goodbye, friends.